Hello, boys and girls. This is Miss K. Today I'm going to read aloud an informational text titled Bats, written by Elizabeth Carney. Today we're going to read and learn all about bats. So let's look at the front cover of this text. What do you see? What do you notice? I see a bat, and it seems to be hanging upside down from a tree because I see here are some branches, and these are the wings over here. And here's the head, the ears, the eyes, and the nose. I'm very excited to learn all about bats today. So let's get started. Here is another photograph of a bat. Look how wide and big the bat wings are. We have a table of contents here. A table of contents is a text feature that you will see in most informational text. A table of contents is a list of topics or parts of a book and the page numbers on which they begin, and it is usually found at the beginning of a book. So let's take a look at what's in this table of contents. We have what's a bat, bat food, night flight, bat bodies, funny face, hanging out, baby bats, bat rescue, nature's helpers, bat myths busted, bat hall of fame, and a glossary. So we're going to start off with what's a bat on page 4. What's a bat? I sleep by day, I fly by night. I have no feathers to aid my flight. What am I? The answer is a bat. A bat is a mammal. Mammals are animals that nurse their young, have hair, and are warm-blooded. Humans, dogs, and whales are all mammals, but bats have a special ability. They can fly. Bat words, mammal. So over here, we have, they give us a little bit information about new vocabulary. So over here it says mammal, a warm-blooded animal that drinks its mother's milk, has a backbone, and has hair. So here's the definition for a mammal. And then we see a photograph over here of a bat hanging upside down from a little branch. And the caption over here says flying fox bats. So this caption tells us what type of bat this is. So this is a flying fox bat. Bat food. There are about 1,200 types of bats in the world. Most of them eat insects. Insect-eating bats are usually small in size. There are more than 150 types of fruit bats. These bats are usually larger and search for sweet fruits and other plants. So let's take a look at this photograph over here. So there's a Q&A here, which is question and answer. So over here, the question says, why don't bats live alone? Why don't they live alone? And the answer is over here, but it's written upside down. Let's see if we can read this upside down. They prefer to hang out with their friends. So they don't live alone because they prefer to hang out with their friends. And the caption over here that describes this photograph is that this is a silky, short-tailed bat feeding. A few bats hunt for larger prey, such as frogs, birds, or mice. Some people think all bats suck your blood. That is not true. Only 3 kinds of bats drink blood. This group is known as vampire bats. They mostly feed on the blood of animals like cows and deer, not humans. So here is a picture of a vampire bat over here, and we know that because of the captions. And then this bat over here is a fringed lip bat, and it's eating a frog. Ooh, it's eating a bat. Oh, here is the frog body. We can tell this is the bat's head and the mouth because it's holding the, the lifeless frog in its mouth. Night flight. Did you know that while you are fast asleep, bats are busy filling their bellies? Bats are nocturnal, meaning they're active at night. So nocturnal means active at night. This way of life has many advantages for a bat. Insect-eating bats often feast on bugs that come out after dark. Pollen and nectar-eating bats might feed on plants that only open at night. Nectar is a sweet liquid made by flowers. So let's take a look over here at the vocabulary. It says bat words, nocturnal, the state of being active at night, and nectar is a sweet liquid made by flowers. And then over here in this caption that describes this photograph over here, it says thousands of wrinkled lipped bats leaving a cave at dusk. Bat bodies. Scientists call bats, let's try to pronounce this. It tells us over here. So this is Chiroptera. Chiroptera, a Greek name that means hand wing. That means because bats have 4 fingers and a thumb just like us. A thin layer of skin connects the fingers. This forms a wing. Bats also have a sensitive nose and big ears. Their big ears help some bats see with sound. And here's a photograph over here. So this is a diagram, and it's a diagram of a bat body. So over here is pointing to they have sharp eyesight. Here's their wing. Here are their big ears, their sensitive nose, their thumbs, their 4 fingers, and a coat of fur, so they are furry. Now let's take a look at the Q&A over here, the question and answer. What did the bat say when its buddy asked, "What's up?" And let's read upside down. It says, "The ground." Bat words. Echolocation, a system in some animals for locating objects using sound waves. In the pitch black night, bats can scoop up a tiny insect with ease. No flashlight required. How do they do it? They make a sound that travels until it hits an object. Then it bounces off the object and travels back to the bat. From this echo, the bat can tell an object's size and how far away it is. This is called echolocation. Funny face. Some bats have strange-looking faces. Special ears, nose, and mouths help bats tune into and make sounds while they use echolocation. Their faces may look odd to us, but for bats, their features work perfectly. So over here, this is a false vampire bat. You can see some things sticking out of the nose here. Amazonian bat. Ooh, look at their nose too, it's pointy. And then we have a spotted bat. Ooh, this one does have a strange looking face. Look at the ears. And then over here is a big-eared bat. This is a big-eared bat. Look, it's hanging up. It's like the wings over here, and this is the ears. This is called big-eared bats, but this spotted bat, their ears look bigger to me than that. But, okay. Hanging out. When bats are not hunting for food, they're usually hiding in a roost. Roost can be caves, treetops, or attics. Bats pick places that are well hidden and protect them from bad weather. When most bats rest in their roost, they hang upside down. Bat words. Roost, the place where animals such as bats and certain types of birds rest. And in this photograph, these are little red-headed flying foxes roosting in a tree. Oh, look, they are all hanging out with their friends in a group because they don't like to be alone. Have you ever hung upside down in a jungle gym? You might start to feel dizzy. Bats have special veins to keep their blood flowing properly so they never feel dizzy. Bats can't take off from the ground like birds do. They have to fall into flight. Hanging upside down is the best way to make a quick getaway. Let's take a look at this Q&A over here. Why did the bat get kicked out of the cave? Because it had a batitude. Get it? Batitude, bat attitude. Ha. Bats hanging and flying inside a cave, so that's the caption for this photograph. Okay, on the left side over here, we have a photograph of a mother and her baby bat over here. Here's the mother, and then here's the baby bat. You see two faces. Okay, baby bats called pups completely depend on their mothers after they are born. They are blind, hairless, and can't fly. They cling to their mother's fur. The pups nurse their mother's milk until their wings are strong enough to fly. Bat rescue. During storms in an Australian rainforest, wind can knock baby bats to the forest floor. The babies usually don't survive unless wildlife workers come to the rescue. The lucky bats are taken to a bat hospital. The babies are bundled in blankets and fed milk from a bottle. After a few months, they are strong enough to return to the wild. So over here, this photograph, the caption is describing the photo. It says rescued bats in Queensland, Australia. Oh, look how cute that is. They're drinking from little milk bottles. Nature's helpers. In the caption, it reads hairy-legged nectar bat with pollen on head and shoulders. A world without bats wouldn't be very nice. Bats are an important part of the ecosystem. Insect-eating bats gobble up millions of bugs. Many of these insects are pests that could harm humans or destroy crops. Bats keep their numbers under control. Other bats keep forests healthy by spreading seeds and pollen. This allows trees and flowers to multiply. Bat words, ecosystem, the environment in which living things live. Bat myths busted. Some people have misunderstanding about bats. Here are a few common myths that drive experts batty. So let's take a look at some of them. So this first myth says bats are blind. Truth. Bats have excellent eyesight. Some bats hunt using sight alone. Next myth. The myth says bats are dirty. The truth is bats are actually neat freaks. They groom themselves frequently. Mothers lick their babies to keep them clean. Next myth. Bats get stuck in hair. The truth is, with sharp senses and echolocation, bats are very good flyers. They can avoid obstacles the width of a thread. The last myth says vampire bats turn into human vampires. The truth is, there is no such thing as a human vampire, and bats certainly don't turn into them. Very interesting myths. And now we know the truth. Bat Hall of Fame. So let's take a look. So it says teeny tiny. The smallest bat in the world is the bumblebee bat. Its wingspan is 5 inches across. Ooh, that's tiny. Its body is the size of a jelly bean. Oh, that's why it's called a teeny tiny bat. The body is only the size of a jelly bean. Mega wings. This one over here. The largest bat is the 3-pound flying fox. Its wingspan can be 6 feet long. That's longer than you are tall. Wow. Over here, happy campers. Ooh, these are white. Happy camper. The Honduran white bat makes tents out of leaves to protect itself from constant rain showers. Interesting. Most crowded home. Ooh. 20 million Mexican free-tailed bats live in one Texas cave. Ooh, that's a lot of bats in one cave. These bats are also the fanciest flyers. They can soar as high as 10,000 feet and zoom through the air at speeds over 40 miles an hour. Wow. Big appetite. Little brown bats can eat up to 1,200 mosquitoes in one night. Yum. And then over here, the Q&A says, why did the bat use insect repellent? And the answer is because it was on a diet. Ha, 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 ha. We have a glossary over here. A glossary is a list of important words in a book and their meanings. So this is another text feature that you'll see in an informational text, and it's usually located in the back of the text. So let's go over some of the vocabulary words that we have learned today from our read aloud on bats. Mammal, a warm-blooded animal that nurses its young, has a backbone and hair. Roost, the place where animals such as bats and certain types of birds rest. Nocturnal, the state of being active at night. Echolocation, a system in some animals for locating objects using sound waves. Nectar, a sweet liquid made by flowers. Ecosystem, the environment in which living things live. Okay, boys and girls, so we have come to the end of this informational text. And I have a task over here that I would like you to complete independently or on your own. You can use a blank piece of paper or a blank page in your notebook, whichever one you would like. So let's take a look. It says, Dear readers, see if you can use your new bat words to finish the story. So you can refer back to the text that we just read. You can go to the glossary to help you out. So let's read this together now. For show and tell today, I've brought my favorite animal, a bat. I think bats are the coolest blank. So over here, you see a blank so that you can just fill in the blank in your notebook or on a blank piece of paper. For many different reasons, they are blank. So they use blank to find their food at night. During the daytime, they blank. In dark places like caves, attics, and treetops, bats are also very misunderstood creatures. Can you believe some people actually think bats might drink their blood? They mostly eat things like bugs and blank from plants. Because bats eat the bugs that destroy a lot of plants, they help the blank. I hope that by sharing these bat facts with you, you know there's no reason to be scared of bats. They are nature's helpers. So again, you do not need to write everything here, right? Just fill in the blanks in your notebook or on a blank piece of paper, and you can go back to the informational text to help you out. I hope you enjoyed today's read aloud.